All right, so hello everybody to this next session for SU Teaches SU. Thank you to those of you who are joining us in the Zoom chat. Thank you for those of you who are joining us on YouTube or SU Learning. We have Dr. Baird here joining us. He's a repeat presenter. This is going to be an additional SU Teaches SU presentation that he's doing. Dr. Baird has a PhD in business with an emphasis in organizational management and a specialization in leadership from Capella University with distinction. He also has earned a Master's of Business Administration with a specialization in healthcare management in 2001 from the University of Phoenix with honors. He's a certified allied health instructor and a fellow of the American College of Healthcare Executives. With more than 30 years of clinical, administrative, management, and leadership experience in the healthcare field, as well as 17 years of leadership and teaching experience at the college level, Dr. Baird is considered by many a leadership expert. And so it's an amazing resource, not just for his colleagues, his department, but for his students. Having that type of expertise, it's an amazing thing for the students to have that resource at their fingertips, so to speak. Dr. Baird owns and runs his own consulting firm, Baird Consulting and Motivational Speaking. Having completed many projects on curriculum revision and review for educational institutions as Excelsior College, Franklin College, Vista College, Walden University, University of Phoenix, Southwest University, and Kaplan College, as well as just general business consulting. He's also completed projects such as nursing engagement research with Las Palmas Medical Center, decision-making among EMS personnel in El Paso County in conjunction with Las Palmas Medical Center and University of Texas at El Paso. In spring of 2012, he was chosen to present at the 4th Annual University of Phoenix Assessment Expo on student feedback and engagement, where he received a commendation for the best presentation. In June 2012, Dr. Baird presented on employee engagement and empowerment with West Texas Federal Probation Department and presented his research findings before the State of Texas Federal Probation at the Capitol Building in Austin, Texas. Also in 2012, he presented at the El Paso Human Resources Management Association quarterly meeting on leadership and at Project Bravo on customer services. In 2013, Dr. Baird presented at the yearly symposium for the American Administrative Professionals Association on dealing with difficult people. He also presented at the Southern Association of Human Resource Professionals on leadership in San Antonio, Texas in May of 2013. Moving on to 2014, in April of 2014, he presented at the Texas Human Resources Management Association Conference in San Antonio, Texas on leadership. In June of 2014, he presented at the Academic Forum in San Francisco, California on leadership amidst chaos. In 2015, he presented at Southwest University on engaging students in learning. In October of 2016, he presented his research on horrible leaders at the SHRM conference in Fort Worth, Texas. Dr. Baird is also a published author in several peer-reviewed journals, most recently in the Impact Journal of Business Management in June 2019. He also published his book on leadership in 2018 on Amazon. He earned Instructor of the Year here at Southwest University in 2019. In February 2020, he presented in San Antonio at the South Texas SHRM conference for research on leading teams. In January of 2021, Dr. Baird's paper on leadership, organizational psychology, and culture was published in the International Journal of Humanities, Arts, Medicine, and Sciences. According to academia.com, Dr. Baird's published papers have been cited and referenced over 560 times. Dr. Baird has been teaching at the college level for 22 years. So Dr. Baird's an amazing instructor. He keeps himself busy. And if all these people throughout Texas and the nation are looking to listen to him and see what he has to say, that's amazing that students get to hear him every time they're in class and take advantage of his expertise, his knowledge, and his amazing resume. So thank you, Dr. Baird, for joining us today and hosting this presentation. I'll just let you take over now, and we're excited to see what you have to tell us.
Thank you, Dr. Ramos. That was very kind of you. I'm blushing a little bit, so if I'm red all over, then that's the reason why. I wanted to welcome everybody who decided to join. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about how to be a successful leader. okay? A couple of years ago, what happened is I was trying to figure out what I was going to write my paper on to get published. And I thought, it'd be a great idea to write something on what it's going to take to be a great leader in the 20s. Now this new millennium, the 21st century. What are we going to have to do? What traits are we going to have? So I wrote this paper, A Composite of a Successful Leader of the 21st Century, the 5 factors. And then I decided to put together, once I got it published, I decided to put together a PowerPoint and try to present. And that's exactly what I did. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. How are we going to be successful in the 21st century as leaders? Okay. So, what is leadership? Well, there's a lot of definitions, and they're all over the place, okay? You can go on the internet, you can find them everywhere, you can go into our library, find them everywhere. But what I have found over my years of experience is it's taking a whole lot of people and taking them in a certain direction. That's going to lead the organization to the mission and vision that they have put together and to fulfill the objectives of the organization. That takes a very special person. Leadership is not only an art, it's a science, okay? And these people that get up in the morning that are leaders and say, gee, I'm gonna go to work today and make it a living hell for everybody, and they're gonna be motivated and engaged. Well, they're just wrong. That doesn't work. And we've got to get rid of all those old notions of the authoritarian leader. It doesn't work, especially with the generations that are now entering the job market. It just does not work. And I don't think it ever really did. So let's start out with the 5 factors. The 5 factors are very interesting, and they're pretty much things that your grandma told you, okay, to do when you were 5 years old. Number 1, always tell the truth. Number 2, be ethical in all your dealings. Number 3, treat everyone with respect and appreciation. Sorry about that. That seems to be having the mind of someone right now. Be humble and include everybody. Everybody. Okay, always tell the truth because employees are going to find out the truth anyway. Lying can have a direct effect on retention and turnover. You may have to start all over again, and this costs valuable time, money, and resources that most of the time the organization doesn't have. Okay? It affects morale and engagement. And then when trust is lost, you're done. There's a great quote by Oprah Winfrey, and she says, any relationship is all about trust. And that is so true. And it doesn't matter what relationship you're in. It could be work. And you have to have a relationship with your leader. And you have to believe in them, you have to trust. Okay, employees, if you're not telling the truth and the trust is lost, employees then run at about 50 to 75% of what they can really do. Okay? When I was doing my research, I thought that was really high. And when I checked, it was about middle of the road. I did more research. It was about middle of the road. Okay? What happens here is trust evaporates, productivity goes down markedly. So what we have to do is we have to let employees rise above the politics, alienation, and fear of reprisal to speak their own truth. This leads to honest and forthright communication, and that's what we need. When I do consulting, I ask them, what are your top 3 problems going on right now within your organization? Every time almost, they say, number 1, communication. Number 1, communication. Be ethical in all your dealings. All you really have is your good name. Once that's gone, yeah, you're done. You're probably not going to get it back. Compromising ethics brings a tidal wave of doubt, suspicion, and copycat behavior that endangers the overall mission and vision of the organization. And believe me when I tell you, they're going to copycat your behavior. And then what you have is an extremely, extremely sick organization that can't get anything done. Compromising ethics leaves employees feeling hopeless and battered for months, even years to come. Think long term, not short term. People that think short term are going to be just that. They're going to be around only in the short term. We want to be around a long, long time, 100 years or more. Okay? That's where we want our organization to be. And we cannot compromise ethics in any way. This is kind of like the scientific method of ethical dealings. State the dilemma clearly. Anticipate who will be affected by the decision. Access whether your areas of expertise are a good match to deal with the situation. Many times I'd have to bring in other people because they were experts about this and it was just better. Remember, more brains are better than one. Assume personal responsibility for all consequences. This ensures that all parties know that one is facing true north, ethical north is what I call it. Okay? The one thing I don't like is when people come into my office or forum, and they beat around the bush, and then they blame everybody else. Well, we have a wonderful thing. It's called free will. Okay? So I like people that come in and say, you know what? I boo-booed. I made a mistake. Well, we're human beings. We're all going to make mistakes. It's just not like this. Okay? You got to pick yourself up, adapt, adjust, innovate, move forward. Treat everyone with respect and appreciation. Well, guess what? This is a basic human need. Nobody ever goes to work, goes into a relationship and says, oh, I don't care if they don't respect me. I don't care if they don't appreciate me. That doesn't happen. Everyone needs respect and appreciation. Look at these statistics. 79%, sorry, my PowerPoint has a life of its own. 79% of employees surveyed who quit their jobs cite a lack of appreciation as the key reason for leaving. When I first did the research on this, I was like, nah, that's too high. That's got to be the high end. Wrong. That was the middle of the road. And in statistics, that's usually what you do. You take the myth. It's the safest way to go. So I was like, oh my goodness, that is crazy. 65% reported that they weren't recognized in the least bit the previous year. Again, I thought that was really high. Did more research in the middle. Then I thought, well, maybe they didn't get the gold watch or the trip to Hawaii or wherever. No, not even a thank you. One of the most powerful things that a leader can do is say, thank you, I appreciate you. You're doing an awesome job. Okay? When employees know that their strengths and potential will be praised, they're more likely to produce positive results. Of course, you take people and you put them in places where it's their strong suit, where they really rock and roll. Okay? That's what makes a very, very successful organization. When leaders can actually spot what people are good in and put them in those positions, then they shine and the organization shines. It's not enough to recognize these attributes at an annual evaluation. One must consistently recognize desired behaviors in a timely manner. Okay? If I come up to an employee and say, I don't know your name, that thing you did a year ago, that was awesome. Number one, they're going to hate me. And number two, there goes their engagement and their motivation right out the window. Because people are doing great things, let them know. Because what that does is it reinforces what they have to do to be successful within the organization. And when the employees are successful, the organization is successful. That goes hand in hand. Okay, the result will be dramatic. Okay, lower turnover rates. I did some consulting at a call center. Okay, and they said they had a customer service problem. That wasn't the problem. They had a leadership problem. We went down to personnel and we asked, we got permission from the home office. We asked, what's the turnover rate? 80% in 6 months. Now, what that told me was none of the objectives of the organization are being fulfilled because it usually takes somebody 6 months to a year to get really good at what they do. Achievement of enhanced business results. Well, that's the name of the game. That's what we want to do. We want to achieve enhanced business results because that's how we bring in more customers. Stronger goal setting, communication, gotta have communication. When I go to places and leaders tell me the employees can't communicate, I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a minute, and they don't understand, that's on you. Your job is to make sure it's perfectly clear what needs to be done. If that's not happening, that's the leader's fault, okay? Trust, big time. They've got to trust you. Everyone on this call and everyone almost in the world is not going to follow somebody they don't trust, okay? And accountability, okay? I don't like to say the word control because control has bad, it just has a bad connotation, but accountability, okay? They're here to work. You have to hold them accountable for what they do, okay? And when somebody's not at 100%, that's a coaching opportunity. That's not, let's just fire them. It's a coaching opportunity. Some of the best employees I've ever had, I had to coach. And these were top educated people, masters, PhDs, in one case, 2 PhDs. And I was just thinking, my goodness, what was that like? Anyway, yeah, held them accountable, but I coached them up. Because there's an old saying that's great, coach them up or coach them out, okay? Coach them up or coach them out. And the mindset there is, can we save everybody? No, you can't. But there's still, I can't save somebody that doesn't want to be saved, okay? But you coach them, okay? And that normally works. What we gain here is a self-actualized workforce. Let's get a little psychological here. You'll probably all remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Started out with physiological, and there was social. Very top, self-actualization. What self-actualization means is, I'm okay, you're okay, and if you're not okay, that's okay. Okay? You're comfortable in your own skin. You know who you are. You know what you do well, and you know what you don't do well. Okay? I should never be asked to teach an Excel class. Yeah, ever. Because, yeah, I just don't know it, and I don't like it. And I don't use it. I use SPSS. So, yeah, not a good idea. But what's wonderful about here at SU, they put me in the classes that are rock and roll. Okay. Equitable salary and benefits. We're seeing this trend. We saw it in the 80s. We're seeing it again with the young millennials and the Z generation. They're leaving jobs making more money to go to places that have better benefits. And that's a trend that's going on right now all the time. A positive work experience. Again, the supervisor that thinks in the morning that they're going to go to work and making a living hell for everyone, and these people are going to be engaged, motivated, and feel empowered, wrong. And then they're calling me as a consultant, and I'm going, well, I know what your problem is. You have a leadership problem. Okay? Timely and consistent recognition. Let them know they're doing a great job right then and there. Right then and there. If you did a great job, tell them great job. Thank you. Okay? Remember, thank you is powerful. It's powerful coming from anybody, but especially the leader. And finally, trust. If the trust leaves, give up. I mean, it's over. Because they are not going to be at 100%, and they are not going to be super productive. And in this competitive environment that we live in today, you have to be competitive. And you have to have excellent people around you. And you can build that because I've seen it and I've done it. Be humble. Oh, yeah. Number one thing, my grandmother told me a long time ago, be humble, because it can all be over tomorrow. That is so true, okay? No one likes an arrogant leader. Being arrogant just doesn't work. And we've all worked for that arrogant leader, and we were miserable, and we left. Because remember, you don't leave jobs, you leave supervisors. Arrogance doesn't work. Excellent leaders periodically conduct an honest evaluation of themselves, and they do that on a yearly basis. Are we perfect? No, no one is. No one is. But we can work on things, okay? So we have to be able to do that honest self-evaluation. Understand your limitations. I understand my limitations. I can't teach you something. There's a lot of things I can't do, okay? Recognizing your own faults is vital to understanding yourself, and that's key. We think more about other people than we think about ourselves, and that's good, we should, but we also need to look inside. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and don't be afraid to let your people make mistakes. That's how you learn. You adapt, okay? You adjust. Then you get innovative, and then you move on. Sometimes the best lessons are when you make mistakes. And you're like, whoa, we've all been in that one time in our life where you say, I'm not gonna do that again. Okay? And you learn from it, and you got better. That's what we want. That's what we want. Helping others is the key to becoming an outstanding leader. Outstanding leaders, in my assessment, is servant leaders. What can I do for you so you can do your job at the highest productivity? What help do you need? Okay, that is key. And it's a funny thing that I learned. When you help other people, you help yourself. Practice gentleness in everyday actions. Absorb the venom of others' attacks and react with gentleness and respect. Are there haters in the world? Well, yeah, unfortunately there is. And you're going to run into them. But just practice gentleness. Just absorb it and move on. And don't, because what they're trying to do is get you unfocused and get you off the path. If you let them do that, they win. Don't ever. Focus. Focus and keep moving forward. Finally, appreciate your talents. Okay? This does not mean being prideful. You know, they'll say, pride goes before the fall. Pride stands for insecurity about oneself. Self-esteem stands for being comfortable in your skin. You know what you do really well. You know what you don't do very well. Okay? And appreciate your talents. A lot of those talents, you know, they're miracles. Okay? I see people here doing things all the time, and I'm just going, wow. You know, Dr. Kappas is out chasing dinosaurs and stuff. I'm just like, wow. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, he's living in Jurassic Park, basically. It's amazing. Include everybody. Everybody within the institution, within the organization. Everyone is important. Everyone. I was a facilities administrator for a couple of years at a hospital. I had a great boss. I'll never forget him as long as I live. And I asked, he would always say, James, let's go for a walk. And we'd walk around the hospital, and you know, everyone knew him and everything. And I asked him one time, I said, you know, boss, you spend a lot of time with housekeeping, dietary, volunteers, and maintenance. And I'm going, I thought we'd be spending more time with nurses, which is certainly extremely important. And he said, James, here's the thing. If we can't do housekeeping, maintenance, volunteers, and dietary right, what's going on in surgery? What's going on in ICU? What's going on in trauma? You've got to be able to do the simple things first before you can do the complicated things. And I've never, ever forgotten it. Never forgotten it. Okay? So, communicate positively and openly. Link organizational values, mission, and vision with the employee's personal values and mission. When you do that evaluation, ask them, what do you want to do? What do you want to do in a year? What do you want to do in 5 years? And then help them. Help them. Share ideas, that's the best way. Sitting around a table drinking coffee, maybe having a donut, and just sharing ideas. It's amazing what people come up with. It always blows my mind. Always expect the best from your staff, okay? This is called the self-fulfilling prophecy. This is why. If you walk around and say, I've got the worst staff in the world, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to be the worst staff in the world, and they're going to feel how you feel, okay? So be careful with that. Expect the best from everyone. And if they're not, and you're not seeing it, that is a coaching opportunity. That is a coaching opportunity. Appreciate everyone, because everyone's very, very important. Okay? Create a positive atmosphere. Yeah, it's got to be positive. I mean, it is work, but it's got to be a positive atmosphere. People do well. Research after research after research after research tells us people do better in a positive atmosphere. Duh. That's what I say to that. No kidding. Okay? And nobody wants to be in a negative atmosphere. Okay? They don't. And they'll run. And what they're going to do, they're good people, they're good employees, they're going to run to the competition and make you regret it later. We're glad you're here. I'm glad everybody's here. I'm glad my students are here. I tell them, I'm glad you're here. Okay? Smile, be friendly. Students say to me all the time, you say good morning, good afternoon, how's it going to everybody? And I said, because that's what you should be. That's what you should be. Be friendly. Call people by name. Oh my goodness. That's strong when you know the name. Very strong. Okay? There's an old show I used to watch back in the 80s and 90s called Cheers. And there was this very funny character on there named Norm. And every time he walked into the bar, everyone would yell, Norm. There you go. That name recognition is amazing. Okay? Make eye contact. Now, some people will tell you, well, that's cultural. And I go, not in the United States. Yeah, maybe if you're somewhere in the Middle East, yeah, got it. You adapt to their culture. They don't adapt to you. Okay? But here in the United States, it's very important to make eye contact. Okay? Eye contact is one of my pet peeves. If you can't look me in the eye, I'm thinking, okay, what are you up to? Okay? That's just very suspicious. Okay? So look, make eye contact. It is extremely important. Okay, now, this is the Baird paradigm. There's the word circle. Okay, you see all the happy faces. Don't they look happy? They look happy because they've been included. Okay? No one wants to be outside the circle. Okay? Why do we have Facebook? Because no one wants to be outside the circle. Everyone wants to be in the circle. One of the reasons social media has taken off like it has is because now you have somewhere to go. You're not outside the circle. So you can see there's me down in the corner, and I don't feel equal to everyone else. So if I don't feel equal, or I don't feel included, am I going to give 100%? Am I going to be productive, motivated, engaged, and feel empowered? No. And that's what the leader has to do every day. Every day. Okay, so we talked a little bit about servant leaders, but that's a whole nother presentation, okay? But we're going to talk about the 4 core concepts of servant leaders. They respect everyone, everybody. They appreciate everyone, everyone. Doesn't matter what they do, they appreciate it. Okay? Trust, that's huge. Yeah, in your relationship, it's all about trust. Common sense and perseverance. Yeah. Perseverance, you know the easiest thing to do? Give up. Give up. When I was working on my PhD, I'd have people ask me, hey, James, how's it going in that doctor thing? And I said, well, I'm either going to finish or I'm going to be dead because I'm going to finish. And that's perseverance, and that's what it took. Because if you have a doctoral, you know it's a journey. So perseverance is key, not giving up. It's easy to give up. It's very easy. Common sense and perseverance. Be kind to everyone, but hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. Okay? And coach them up or coach them out. Okay? And it can be done. Most of the people that I had to coach, it was very successful. And they really just needed to know what they needed to do every day. It's extremely, extremely important. And we coached them up. Okay? Every once in a while, like I said, you can't save everybody. That's not practical. It just can't be done. Okay. So I want to thank, number one, Carrie and Dr. Ramos for asking me to do this. I'm very honored and very humbled by the whole thing. And I always enjoy doing these kinds of things. And I just wanted to thank you all for coming in and listening to me go on and on about leadership. And there's my references. And yeah, I don't want anybody to say I plagiarized anything. So there you go. Some of it I made up, but some of it I got from these guys who are really, really good. But thank you so much. Thank you for coming out, and I look forward to doing these kinds of things in the future. Have a good day now.